How hot is it?
So now no one's talking.
Usually,
it's okay.
No, usually we're all talking before the whole
I
thing, and then
don't-
we start rolling.
About
I
what?
don't tell
It's
them.
okay though.
Well, we from what I remember, we were always going into something, going into an idea, saying, "Oh shit, that's it."
And then
Well-
someone goes, "Oh, are we rolling?"
Wait, we're in a cool new office-ish area, and we got beautiful Sennheiser microphones.
We do Sennheiser microphones, which we've been working with for how long now?
But we don't endorse them, or we're not sponsored by them. But
Welcome
we'll
to the
say that
use them?
we are. for
Welcome
now.
to the Pitch It
Okay.
podcast. The voice you just heard is from one of my oldest and bestest friends, Jacob Stebel.
Hey, I'm not chronologically old. In fact, I'm one of the youngest people in this room.
no,
What?
Second youngest.
I'm older. Oh yeah, I'm second youngest.
I'm 29. Thank you.
Yeah, no.
Congrats.
So, thank you for listening to the Pitch It Movie podcast. I'm Pete Bune,
I'm Sean King.
And I'm Will Puntarich.
and with us is Jacob Stebel.
That's me. Yay.
Now, Jake,
Hi.
you have to brag about yourself a little bit. You got to talk about who you are, what you do, and where
Other
you do
than
it.
being one of our oldest, not chronologically, you said, one of our bestest friends.
Aw.
Yes.
What are you doing here on our podcast?
Jake has possibly what's one of the coolest jobs on the planet.
So I'm
all
the
jealous
head of the
about.
film department at a public high school in the Bronx called the Cinema School. We are a specialized high school. We are the only school in the country, first school in the country to require that students take 4 years of narrative filmmaking.
Oh,
We were
yeah.
founded in partnership not only with the Department of Education, but with an organization called the Ghetto Film School, founded by a former social worker named Joe Hall, who in the year 2000 got an opportunity to do this fellowship at University of Southern California. He studied film and said, this is the way to get students from all backgrounds to not only have job skills, but tap into their creativity, which is really the greatest American export. And it's like really the last great American thing we have.
Film.
Film.
Movies.
Yeah,
That and
exactly. Film
cheeseburgers.
and movies.
And which is great because you are on the Pitch It Movie podcast.
Indeed.
We make movies on the spot right here.
So that's
Exactly.
what makes you
And I-
qualified to be on
And
the
so I feel
podcast.
like
Kind of.
I feel like I'd be letting my students down if I demand creativity from them. So
Oh, yeah.
we have
This
to
is
demand it
a
from ourselves.
Is there who's
this is
on
a
like,
hub of creativity.
Isn't like their name some specific name on
yeah,
the board?
yeah.
of
There's
the
some
school?
serious people on the board of directors, like
involved
Spike
there?
Jones, David
Whoa.
O. Russell is probably the biggest booster.
Whoa.
Some really Rachel Horowitz, who's the sister of Ad Rock from the Beastie Boys.
Whoa.
She's like a big producer, produced a lot of films.
Whoa.
Some really great people. You know, we've had in my classroom the last 2 years alone. We've had Antoine Fuqua, Christine Vachon, who's one of the biggest producers in the game.
Amazing.
and
really-
Will's favorite, Nicholas Winding Refn.
You had-
Nicholas Winding Refn,
Yeah.
I met at Criterion Collection, which we also bring our students
But
to.
didn't you have like Lee Daniels in?
Yeah, Lee
and
Daniels, Carrie Fukunaga,
Steve McQueen.
twice. Steve McQueen was in my
Unbelievable.
classroom. Yeah,
I
Some really,
love
really
The
good
Great
people.
Escape.
Yeah, the 12 Years a Slave,
Before his death,
Steve
actually.
McQueen,
Unbelievable.
That's
not
when-
Caucasian one.
That's when Steve McQueen escaped slavery.
That's right. And my classroom.
So basically, this makes you think that you're qualified to be on the Pitch a Movie podcast somehow.
No, I'm here because you asked me to be.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's right.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
That's right.
Well, we're gonna let's see if you're up for it.
So
For the-
let's go back and talk about what the
Oh,
Pitch a Movie
Sean,
podcast is.
paint a
because
picture. What are we doing here? What's
here's-
happening?
Here's the scenario. We have this incredibly huge meeting with Mr. Hollywood in a few hours. okay?
Lord Hollywood.
King of Hollywood, and
Lizard Man.
he demands. Well, he's one of the elite. Yeah, he might
Illuminati.
He might be a draconian.
We're
we don't
pretty
know.
sure that he's.
But he's definitely ahead of industry, and he really likes our ideas. But we waited too long till the end. Right now, we only have a few hours, and we got to come up with a movie idea right now, from beginning to end, from scratch. And I'm starting to freak out a little bit. I have no idea what the hell we're going to
Sean's
come
always
up with.
freaking out.
His office is upstairs.
Well,
in this
why do we
building now.
procrastinate always to the last minute to do this, guys?
It
I
takes
mean,
a lot
come
of
on.
time to get everyone.
I never
together.
changed since high school.
It's tough. So I mean, look. I don't know what you guys do. I haven't listened to the podcast. I'm sorry.
Thanks, pal.
Bitch.
But I know it's new. But like, you know, when I one of the things I do with my students, right,
Yeah.
is if there's something big that happens in the news, something crazy, I show it to them and I tell them, right now, every smart screenwriter in Hollywood is writing a script about this.
Okay.
And they're getting this out there. Remember when those women were found in Cleveland in that guy's house? They'd been
No.
there for like 20 years.
Oh,
I
like
don't read
Kimmy
the
Schmidt.
news.
Yeah, like that.
The Unbreakable
so
Kimmy
Kimmy
Schmidt?
but also that movie
it's like a
Room.
Room.
Right?
Yes.
So I'm like,
Oh, they were locked away,
So
huh?
I showed him like,
So
I'm
like
like
Kimmy Schmidt's the funny version.
the funny version, but
and
Room
Room
is
is
the
the
serious version.
hilarious
So
version.
I'm like, look, there are two major projects that came out of the news. I told them, like, you know, I told my kids right when it happened, if you write a script, you could have this, but instead, whoever wrote Kimmy Schmidt got Kimmy Schmidt. Whoever wrote Room got Room, and started Brie Larson's career, who's now up for Captain Marvel.
Yes,
right?
I agree.
So
I like
these are-
that. I like that casting.
So these are
idea.
big. Yeah, these are big deals.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a good way to kind of jump in.
Yeah.
with a fresh idea.
So what's going on in the news right now?
Well, the news is one thing, but also we noticed that there's this cool trend happening with movies coming out now, right?
What's that? What's that, Sean?
Where it possibly could be like an antidote to this whole like big franchise superhero thing.
Right on.
But we start to see movies with ridiculous premises.
Oh, the
taken
weird-
super
the
seriously,
weirding of
right?
Hollywood.
Yeah, and this is an awesome
Things are
trend.
getting kooky in Hollywood.
Yeah, like
again.
there's like Jake mentioned The Lobster,
Yeah.
which is an odd kind of
It's
idea.
the best movie I've seen all year.
And yeah,
it's incredible.
He loves it. And then there's Swiss Army Man, which is about
Swiss
to come
Army
out,
Man. I cannot
which
wait
is
to see
basically
that.
a guy
Have you
using
seen that? The
another
trailer for
guy's
that,
It's
John?
body
amazing.
as a tool.
It's
Used to
a
be
corpse that is.
It used to be
used
called
as
like
a
it used to be called like the
survival
farting corpse.
Yeah.
The original title was the farting corpse.
And
I
then we
believe.
saw the trailer for Monster Trucks,
which
which
was
looks
awesome.
amazing.
That looks
So-
incredible.
That actually
there's-
looks like a That reminded me of like a Disney like Herbie the Love Bug
I
movie.
thought
but
it was going to
still,
be something
like-
a little bit more serious, but
But
it
look
ends
at
up being
these
a kids movie.
Look at
It's a-
these ideas like monsters live in a truck and drive a guy around. Like these kind of ideas are like kind of like
You have to find love, otherwise you turn into an animal.
yeah, like
but keep in mind, these are all tied into larger ideas, right? Like, I mean,
Sure,
The
yeah,
Lobster's
yeah.
about how we treat people who are single and the way we treat people who are coupled up, right? You could
Okay.
argue that, for example, It Follows, which is a great weird horror movie,
Yeah.
is about STDs, right?
Right.
So
Yeah,
you
so
kind of
they're
have to
metaphorically
find,
kinda-
you have
yeah.
to find some real world
Right.
metaphorical.
Oh, so we're
connections beyond
almost taking this. Are we like taking your class right now, Jake? I feel like our listeners, not only
We're
the
all
three
getting
of
a
us,
free education.
we're getting a free
Courtesy of
education from
Jake.
Mr. Steebs,
It's just
Dr.
like-
Stebel.
It's just general ideas that are not groundbreaking by any means, but they're just like kind of tried and true. And I mean, we've sat in the presence of George Romero when we used to work at the movie theater.
Right.
All three of us, right?
Right.
Sean,
Yeah,
Pete,
Sean. Yeah,
right?
we
all
used to work at the
work-
Cinema Arts Center in
right?
Huntington, Long Island.
And George Romero said, and I remember
Jar Jar
we were talking
Romero.
about it. Jar Jar Romero. George
I was
Romero.
talking to George
Misa.
Lucas there for
Misa like the living dead. He said, he said that movies have to have a message.
Uh-huh.
If there's no message, there's no movie.
and watch any George Romero movie. There's a
There's a
message
message.
hidden
There is
underneath.
always subtext to
Yeah.
George Romero's movies.
So something ridiculous with a serious message. I have a cousin, Adam Wiesen. I'd like to give him a shout out. And last Friday he premiered this movie called Shankmans, which he's been working on forever. And it's about these 4 white kids who move to like this fictional neighborhood in Manhattan. They gentrify it. And it's about it's a horror comedy about gentrification.
Awesome.
They notice that there's no good butcher shop there. So they open a butcher shop that no one wants, and they end up killing people, and they serve the people as meat, and everyone loves the meat.
Is this a feature?
It's a feature. It was so
Wow.
good. It was
Sounds
very,
like an
very
H.G.
funny,
Lewis movie
but it
or
had a
something.
very serious. It was ridiculous, really well acted, and had a wonderful message behind it. So I'm like, that's exactly what I want. I
So
want to see ridiculous premises that are farces.
Do you think though this is kind of like going against like the blockbuster?
Yeah, I feel like
archetype
it's
now?
a reaction to it.
So that's
Is this a reaction to
so,
that?
You asked me before, am I teaching this in my class? And I said I wish I could. The hardest thing I think for the reason these films aren't big, the reason that these films is because, well, just say the reason that they're not really making that much money, as at least not as much as they should. They're critical darlings, not necessarily commercial darlings, because satire is the hardest thing for the average person to understand.
right.
You have to be able to read and
It's a little
read
intelligent
well. You have
for
to read
the
widely
average.
and deeply and understand a little bit about the world. You have to have it come to it with a certain amount of background knowledge to understand.
So Superman flying through a building and smashing through a building you could take that for what it is, but once you have to look deep for a deeper meaning, you think
Yeah.
that turns most average viewers off. Because average moviegoer just wants to go to a movie for an hour or two,
Turn
and
off their brain.
forget about stuff, and then go home and then
Deal
go
with
back
their
to
crappy
go back
life.
to their horrible fucking life, and yeah.
Yeah. So our weird movie has to be enough spectacle that somebody, even if they don't quite understand it, will still feel entertained.
Okay.
It's got to have that message for people looking for it.
All right.
And it's got to have that ridiculous premise for a hook.
Okay.
So we got to satisfy 3 criteria today.
Oh
All right.
boy.
Hollywood.
I
Oh,
think
shit.
that.
You got something?
I think
Yeah.
we got something.
Yeah.
What's it, Will?
It was kind of brought up before, but how information is disseminated on the internet and why we can't help but feel that we need to click something
Click-
when it has a silly
clickbait.
headline.
Oh,
Okay.
Well, I was
Okay.
saying that one of the things I was noticing that I kept noticing on like Facebook or Tumblr or one of those like sites was I kept seeing top 10 people you didn't know are dead.
Yeah, right.
top 10 celebrities you didn't know you were dead. And I'm
it's like Chuck Norris or something. You're like,
and I
what?
saw
What?
He's
no, I
dead?
saw
It's a photo of
Stifler's.
Chuck
I keep seeing
Norris.
Stifler's mom, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I forgot the name of the actress, but like I know she's not dead.
She's not dead.
And I'm like, I'm not gonna freaking click that.
But
I'm like,
no,
I'm
but-
not gonna. They're not gonna bait me in. But then, of course, I went to IMDb to make sure that Jennifer Coolidge.
But why did you even
wasn't dead.
care? That you shouldn't.
I don't.
You
care.
don't care, but you still have to find out. You're compelled to find out.
It's clickbait.
It's
I'm like, I
genius
don't.
how they
Which
lure
is why
you
I think
in.
clickbait would be an amazing title for a movie.
Okay. Also, I love the premise, right? A person who has to prove that he's not dead. Everybody thinks he's dead. He has to prove he's not dead.
Okay.
He can't get ID.
How about
'cause
this?
He's dead.
How about this?
Actually.
That's pretty funny.
How about there's a guy who's like in the basement of this media company, okay?
Yeah.
He's got a new job. He's like a
Because
new employee.
I recently watched Evil Speak, and Evil Speak was a cool thing.
Okay.
And it was about Clint Howard, who has a computer.
Is that an
It's
older?
always
It's like
Clint
an,
by
Howard.
Satan.
So
Is that like an
Ice
80s
Cream
movie,
Man.
or-
Yeah, it's like an early 80s
Clint
movie.
Howard, fame of Ice Cream Man,
Right.
Ticks.
So in this movie,
Ron
he was-
Howard's
always
little
dies.
brother.
He was in this military academy, and he's like bullied beyond belief, and he finds revenge through this computer that's controlled by Satan, right? so basically, if there was a guy like that who was
Oh, like
pissed,
what's that's like the
pissed
modern
on,
version.
yeah. So he's like pissed on, and he's like given the shittiest work at this kind of like this media
He
company.
works at like a News Corp kind of
And-
thing.
yeah,
he's
or-
got to come up with. He's a content creator. this guy.
Exactly, and his job is to come up with the clickbait, right?
So he's got to come up with the wicked.
He's got to come up with the
Title.
most severe thing, like a pile of guts, and the headline
Because like you
is
always
like,
see those titles
you
on
know,
Facebook where it's like,
It's
this guy met this girl and then something unbelievable
Yeah,
happened.
exactly,
You
yeah,
want to
sorry,
click
and,
that.
and it'll be like a
But
chopped
you
off
don't-
hand.
but
Like
you
the
don't
picture
Okay,
give
let
a
me
shit.
put it.
You
Let's
don't
put a
give a
pin in that.
crap.
Let's put a pin in that. Let's combine what Jake said. What Jake's idea could be the act 3 of this, where like he starts writing clickbait articles, but
okay,
then like
okay.
whatever happens in between, like whatever higher entity or whatever, they're just like they're trying to hide him because he's trying to prove that there's some kind of bigger like government thing that's trying to,
There-
and then so they say he's dead and he has to prove that he's alive. Maybe
Yeah.
that's act 3.
Okay.
But here's the twist in the idea is that when he comes up with the most like sadistic clickbait you can imagine, it actually happens. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
So you
shit
could
starts
say-
happening.
It's like a self-fulfilling thing.
Abraham Lincoln back from the dead, and what
Abraham
if
Lincoln
there's-
comes alive.
and he's just
anything-
wreaking havoc in downtown Manhattan.
So and the
Click
more
fate. That's the
clickbait.
There we go. The title.
okay, perfect. So the more
Clickbait.
clicks he gets, the
Very
more the,
punny. It's a
like
All right,
punny
it's
title.
like
So-
it's like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Like the more clicks that happen, the bigger this
oh
thing
shit,
becomes.
that's great.
Okay.
No, that's really
All right,
good.
so-
It's like a collective.
To help-
So
conscious
he's got to
thing.
he's got to get people to stop clicking. That's
No,
the-
no, he becomes mad or something. Like what
Well, so
happens
to
to
help
this guy
to help
once he
start
realizes
the
he has
ball
power?
rolling? Who would be the modern day Clint Howard?
Howard.
Maybe we want. No, we can't have Clint Howard now. We need.
How was he?
I mean,
starved
look,
so
Who
many
would be the actor?
I know I'm colored by the lobster, but John C. Reilly.
John
Ooh,
Cera.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
You could see him in like a basement being peed
Oh,
on.
absolutely.
And,
No,
like,
this
I
is
could
Steve
see.
Brule,
I
right?
could see him though as
Yeah,
being like
he's Brule, yeah.
I could see him as being the boss though. Don't you want to go a little younger? This is a guy who doesn't have a job.
No, you
Looking
want
for a
don't
job.
say TJ
No, no,
Miller.
I
Whatever
think-
you
I'm not
say,
gonna
don't
say
fucking
TJ Miller
I
again.
think I think it makes sense to actually have the guy be kind of older and out of touch. That way he has to make these things up to get
Yeah.
attention.
Okay, okay.
The older he is, the more desperate he
So you wanna
becomes.
see
Why do I
John's-
need a MySpace? Why do I need a Facebook? One of those type dudes. Why do I need a Twitter? And he doesn't have an online footprint.
So it's
except
Mike
for what he
Cossack.
creates.
Yeah.
So Mike Cossack stars as.
So is he resentful of this new media?
So,
and
so
he's
look
like,
at this. So it's not about. I mean, one of the big complaints about new media is that there's actually no new media being created. Well, there are people who create it who are faceless. We don't know who actually creates these things. They're just getting reposted constantly.
Yeah.
And there's no authorship anymore.
No, there's no meaning for fact either.
So this guy is creating stuff.
You don't
He's a
think like
person who
a-
cares about creating, not about fame.
Uh-huh.
And as a result, he's losing all sorts of identity.
Well,
You don't,
Maybe
you don't
he-
think like a
may-
Michael
Okay.
Cera or Jesse Eisenberg?
Michael
Michael
Cera's
Cera's
really
looking
wanna go
really weird
younger,
now.
huh?
He could totally do this.
It's-
Michael Cera. I like Michael Cera.
Daniel Radcliffe.
Daniel Radcliffe.
too good an
The
actor.
whole-
It's
the
got to
whole
be a
cast of
guy
Swiss
who's
Army
like
Man?
who is somewhat. If it's an older guy, it's likely that he worked at a newspaper once before, and reporting is just not the same anymore, and he's kind of.
But you
stuck.
want like
okay, maybe
I'm
he's
thinking
an
like
extra
a
There's got to be
reporter.
some sort of
Oh, man,
conflict for him
what
to
if
go
there's like
mad
a
in the
millennial?
first
I'm
place.
thinking a millennial guy, and maybe John C. Reilly is a guy who's been there, who kind of shows him the ropes.
Okay, but what if he does like he is kind of like resentful of new media because he was kind of raised on like traditional media.
Like I deal with it every day with
And
my
it's sort
boss
of a
at
re-
work.
What if
It's like
John
a
C. Reilly's the
revenge of-
boss?
Well, I deal with that age gap, that ageist gap
Mm-hmm.
of media and everything, all like every day with my boss especially, who's a great guy, but he's very
He's
like he's
resistant to
been
the new
35
stuff, right?
years in radio advertising, and 35 years in television. His dad grew up in early television, so it's like these people are they need younger people to learn this new medium, and the medium's the message,
Uh-huh.
of course. So he's just out of touch. He still thinks radio and TV work when they really don't anymore. They don't work in the way that they used to because not enough people are paying attention to a television when they wake up in the morning. The first screen that they see in the morning
their
is their
phones.
phone.
Yeah.
So he's like, so
So
this is his way to.
he's getting used to it. It's just changing for
Yeah.
him. Now, so if you have an older guy who was like that, that could be the
He's the lead.
the push.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but you could have a younger guy there.
Oh,
Like,
what
like
if-
a sidekick?
No, what if Michael Cera is already It's a reverse where Michael Cera is the guy working there already, and John C. Reilly is like he's like embarrassed, like
Oh, he has to work with this young kid.
yeah, his boss is this young awkward kid,
And then
millennial.
all of a sudden they're down in the basement. And Michael Cera goes to grab go to the vending machine and get some Doritos and soda, and all of a sudden a computer just turns on.
So-
it's this old computer, and John C. Reilly's just drawn to it.
Oh shit! So it's like a possessed computer type of thing.
So, like,
No,
what does
here's
this
the
guy
thing.
do?
It's a computer that just had artificial
no, what if
intelligence
the
already
company?
built into
No,
it.
Michael Cera's company.
New operating system.
Michael Cera's company is what makes the click fate.
So let's think about
It's like
this.
Wanted.
Well, what makes these things
Whoa.
come to life?
So here's what I'm thinking, right? I think we should stick with the older guy premise, right? The older guy
Okay.
has like a silk screening shop, and this guy creates things like logos and things that like freaking Big Johnson T-shirts in the '90s, right? This guy has these
Johnson.
ideas.
So he's like a tactile
creates
guy?
them, but,
So he's
but-
very
but-
creative
Yeah,
still.
he's very creative, and he hires this kid to kind of help him out because it's hard. He makes the silk screens from
Silk
scratch.
screen guy.
He has a silk screen. He leaves them to dry, and the kid takes a picture of the logo on and puts it on his Instagram. All of a sudden, people start stealing it. And this guy, John C. Reilly's like all these ideas that
Hey!
like, people are starting.
Hi.
So people.
Hey, that's mine.
So this guy's ideas are finally being seen by people,
What's mine?
but there's no authorship behind
not
it because
getting
they're getting
credit for
stolen
it.
and they're
Right.
getting memed to shit. so
maybe
that
maybe
everybody-
this guy loses his silk screening shop or his graphic design place or something.
It goes out of business.
So all of his-
because everyone's just stealing his stuff and it's on
That's
the
it.
internet now. It's being
Yes.
printed on shirts.
So all of
you
his-
can't keep track of that
All
shit.
of
No,
his like
no.
Big Johnson things, his like
Yeah.
like whatever surf shop fucking
Within
like
a 2
all
days,
this-
it's done to death because everyone's made memes out of it. They've shared the picture,
and it
they've made
becomes
their own
wildly
versions of it.
popular, and it
he
all
gets
like,
nothing
all of his
from it.
IP
Right,
is
right.
just gone
Because of this Michael
out.
Cera upstart kid who's just like, hey, it's super cool, millennial. And it shows how like we just consume.
Michael
consume,
Cera is the
consume.
guy who leaks his photo.
Yeah.
Dude,
Oh.
I used to work at a shop like that, and my job was to come up with the T-shirt ideas.
Really?
So
what
Michael's-
have
yeah.
you? Oh,
Right.
you in real life?
Yeah.
The big one, the big hit was it was Barney baseball,
Uh-huh.
and it was Beavis and Butthead beating Barney with baseball.
You came up with that? You came up with that?
I made that shirt.
Did you make the art for that?
Yeah, I made the idea
Holy
and the
shit,
whole
that's
shirt.
awesome. How
And-
come
and
I don't
was-
have this?
I was in high school and I saw like 2 other people wearing the shirt, and I was like, "Holy shit!" And I got paid like $150 for it.
You thought that was
Man.
a lot
Good
then,
idea.
though. Like,
No, but this was the era in the '90s where it was like '92 or '93, and the big Johnson shirts.
Buttman.
And another one I
Remember
came up
Buttman?
with was another one I came up with was Dealers Inc. And it was money grows on trees, and it was like it was like you're a weed dealer, and like
oh
it was,
god,
yeah.
there's like hockey shirts.
yeah, it was like all these like stupid
Stuff that
fucking
you see at a
jokes.
flea market, like a Tia's flea market.
They
when
were
those
made.
open.
They were made for those. Yeah, they were
Those
made.
are
for
great. Those are great.
So you see, you have a personal connection, which makes this good and makes this thing more true. So right.
But you do feel like you lost ownership once it's out there.
Exactly. Meanwhile,
And
Michael
you
Cera,
got no
even though
credit for it.
he's not really getting credit for the idea either, he's getting all these followers. So we have one person who's losing his idea and his business, one person who's like gaining followers but isn't getting credit. So they're both disgruntled in a way. First, Michael Cera feels good about it. Then he starts feeling like shit. Then he and John C. Reilly, third act, team up to freaking I don't know.
Wait. First of all, are we getting rid of the whole clickbait?
No,
thing?
no. Hold on.
It's gonna become. That's where it's gonna
Okay,
come
take
in.
it. I just want to.
Like we're still in the first act. We're going into the second act.
I just want to
okay?
throw
We're gonna
something.
flesh out
Maybe
more.
John C. Reilly
Take your
kills
time.
himself.
Well, no.
Hold on. Wait, hold on.
Okay. I like
And
this. I like
he
this. I like this.
possesses a
Okay.
computer of Michael Cera.
Yes.
No, what about
Yes,
what about
yes,
like
yes.
what
Shit.
if what
Keep
if
going.
what if he kind of like remember when Kiss put their blood into the ink of the
No, John
the
C. Reilly
fucking-
has
Their comic book?
on the silk screen.
yeah, exactly. He
So that
becomes
happens
the
to John
ink.
C. Reilly?
He becomes the ink for the silkscreen shirts, and then now he becomes like a powerful
Well, how does
like a physical thing. You know.
How does-
so the shirts that they're wearing and
Control
stuff,
memes. So you can make them more.
how does that-
Maybe
and now
Michael
the
Cera-
now the shirts are a hit too, and now he's like living inside the shirts.
No,
and
Michael
stuff.
Cera can't get out of. Michael Cera's wearing the shirt that has John C. Reilly's blood in it, and it starts growing into him.
Oh my God!
And
Yeah, like a
Michael
Venom
Cera starts
suit, like
becoming
a
John.
No. John C. Reilly's like the four-eyed raven. It's like freaking Game of Thrones. He can see through
What
everybody's
kind of movie
t-shirts.
Oh my God! So it's so he's like connected for like the
everyone.
roots.
He's
of
down low. He's like,
everybody.
la, 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 la.
So he's like Johnny Depp in that Transcendence movie. He's like, yeah.
downloaded.
I know.
I love it how he's in shirts.
Lawnmower Man too.
I'm a T-shirt. How did I become a T-shirt?
This T-shirt's like a symbiote now, and like
Yeah,
and Michael
Wait,
Cera starts
guys,
slowly turning.
how does this go
Well,
into
hold on.
Michael Cera
He
article
becomes
writing?
possessed by John C. Reilly's spirit, and
Yeah.
now he's starting to write these heinous articles that are ruining Michael Cera's career in the industry that he's in, because Michael Cera ruined John C. Reilly's
So
career
is his
and
voice
life.
going to be like in his head, like,
I
Yeah.
want you to write.
No, he's
Yeah.
like it's just coming through him.
Okay.
Oh my
I feel
God.
like what we should do.
This is getting wacky.
So I think like
I
we should
fucking
get, like,
love it.
So I think it's that the clickbait person should be the love interest, right? So again, John C. Reilly loses business to the point of killing all his ideas to the point where he kills himself. I
Yeah.
love that. I like the idea of him possessing the computer somehow. I think that's great.
Yeah.
I think that Michael Cera should feel initial flush of attention, and then eventually like. That disappears as other people repost all that stuff, and then he realizes no one cares about me; they care about the thing.
So so he's
And
not an
then-
author either. So
But
he's
the
not getting
the
credit.
girl who's reposting all his stuff and doing the pieces on it is the love interest, and she is. And I mean, he's interested in her. She's not interested in him. She's hot. She's got nothing else to do.
Okay.
Like she's just reposting stuff. She's the fucking clickbait girl, right?
Okay,
But he loves
okay.
her. Like he's empty. She's empty. John C. Reilly's dead. This stuff is out there in the world, and John C. Reilly is now rife to get his revenge. And then they have to team up to stop him.
Is this a
'cause he
love
goes too
story
far.
revenge kind of thing?
So-
like, because it seems like
It's
Michael
it's
Cera was
certainly a
really a
revenge thing.
douchebag in the whole thing, and
Oh,
it's his
absolutely.
fault this all
Yeah,
happened.
he has
But
to
that's
be a
the
douchebag.
conflict
But he's
that's
also a
cool.
victim.
You know, that's the conflict that's cool. That he's you want to root for the asshole sometimes. You know.
Well, no, he's not, but he has to grow, right? Because everybody has
Well,
to
yeah,
grow.
he's gotta-
right?
he's right, he's
Again,
gotta have a little
the hero's
bit of
gotta
a
start
arc.
in a place of comfort,
Yeah.
right? Find conflict, be reborn.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Okay.
and succeed
So
and
who's
or fail.
who's the girl? Who's the click it?
So the girl is like the BuzzFeed.
It's Emma
slash,
Stone. We
like-
both know.
Sure, yeah.
Emma
Maybe
Stone's
something a
good.
little- yeah, someone Emma Stoney, right?
No,
Maybe
no.
someone like a little older. Like think about like Courtney Cox in Scream.
Somebody super ambitious.
Yeah.
kinda
Jennifer
like,
Aniston.
She's ambitious.
No.
Like she's ambitious.
No.
She's ambitious. She's going for. She can't wait to post the story before everyone
Carlo
else.
Gugino.
Guess where this stuff is coming from? No one cares anymore because they're just
Too long in the
memed out.
tooth?
Yeah.
We got to find the right actor
Yeah.
for that.
I agree. Right, but
Who's
Natalie
who,
Portman.
Who can you see directing a thing like this?
How about Jake, Natalie?
Yeah,
Wait, how about Natalie, Jake?
Robert Zemeckis is producing this.
Oh,
Yeah.
we need a good
Yeah.
director. Okay.
good producer.
Zemeckis, huh?
Zemeckis?
You know what? Let's
like-
give Max Landis his directorial debut.
Hasn't
you
he
know
already
what?
had one?
he has
Josh
not.
Trank worked with him.
Yeah, he's just
No,
writing.
he's the showrunner for Dirk Gently, dude.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
But he's not. I
He's
don't know if
booked.
he's
We can't
directing
get him.
anything though. But
Nope.
let's give Max. I'd give it to Max Landis. I think
like
he's-
Max Landis?
I love
Alright.
Max Landis.
Max
He's
Landis
due
is
for
ki-
his
Max Landis is kind of the
directorial
godfather of this
Yeah.
podcast, but he's one of the greatest like YouTube pitchers I've ever
That's
seen.
true. He
Absolutely
did kind
is.
of pioneer this stupid
So
idea.
sure, let's give it to Max Landis.
All
He's
right.
got weird ideas.
Is he writing too?
He's-
Yeah.
he's-
Fuck
Yeah.
it. Let him write and
phenomenal.
direct.
Dude, he's
Let's
an
do it.
amazing writer. He's probably a better writer than
He wrote
director.
the Superman series, which was the first time I was interested in Superman in years. It
There
just
you
wrapped
go.
up.
We
So
had to
he's
send
writer,
this to
director.
Max Landis.
Yeah.
This is Max Landis.
Called Superman American Son. Max Landis wrote it. It is freaking phenomenal.
So
really fun.
Does this mean that John Landis can visit the set once in a while, please?
Yes, absolutely.
See, you
He's
get
probably-
2 for 1.
Alright,
It's
awesome.
like it's
Thank
like
John Landis
Thank you.
plays the boss.
John Landis will
Oh my
will
God, he'd be
work in a
amazing.
cameo definitely somewhere.
Yeah, because he always
Definitely,
does.
absolutely.
And what doesn't he always put like see you next
Wednesday.
See you next Wednesday. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's So that's got to
So
be on
Mi-
a marquee or a movie
Michael
poster
Cera is
somewhere.
going to be sitting in the movie.
The movie.
He's going to be watching See You Next Wednesday, and John C. Reilly's. It's going to be like American Werewolf, where John C. Reilly's ghost is like, "Hey, I can't." That's like, "Hey."
All right, so we're at the point where
yeah.
now the Michael Cera and this mystery girl, they've teamed up, right?
Let's say it's Kaya Scodelario from Maze Runner.
Sure, fine. That's
Sure.
whatever.
Okay,
That's
I don't
Oh,
care.
she was in Skins too.
the pretty
She's-
girl from
okay.
She's
Skins.
phenomenal.
Very
I
pretty.
I
I'm not
think
gonna-
she's a great choice.
let's not attempt
got a
to
British
We'll just
accent.
say
we'll just
that
call her
name again.
Kaya. She could keep the British
yeah,
accent,
she should keep it.
and
Yeah. Just ditch the last name and we're good.
I don't know how to say it.
Kaya.
Kaya Scott.
Sure, you say it from now on because we can't.
That seems
Kaya?
to be
Is it?
Kaya.
Kaya.
That seems to be
Kaya.
my role in this podcast is
saint
Mia
unpronounceable.
Wachowski.
He's able
I
to say
know.
people's last names.
Saoirse Ronan.
and Give
Yeah.
Mia
leading roles
Wachowski.
to females.
I'm sure you're mangling every one of those names. But
I am the casting director.
so at this point, John C. Reilly has transferred his consciousness to what kind of platforms has he? T-shirts?
No.
We're not doing the T-shirts.
It can't be. John C. Reilly's got to kill himself, and you got to keep in frame of the clickbait thing. You can't
So-
stray too far from that because that's got social context.
Clickbait. Yeah, like Jake said earlier,
has to-
there's
so-
got to be a
Okay,
message.
so since
So
his,
why? So the message is, why do we read what we read when we know we don't care?
Yeah.
Okay. So since his consciousness is now into like in the kind of
That's
electronic,
the tagline on the poster,
you know.
people.
Yeah.
So,
So
you
since-
make the poster.
since
No, we
he's
still
gone
doing this?
Clickbait.
so his soul has gone fucking viral or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And now
Gets sucked into the
His
internet.
soul is
and now
viral.
now is he out to like regain his intellectual properties, like his ideas?
I think that
Or
he
what?
should be
Oh.
sabotaging Michael Cera for sabotaging him. I'm not.
Or he's making these things real. These clickbaits
Michael
real.
Cera is the vessel for John C. Reilly.
I would love the
Ooh.
image of
Damn.
that. Oh, it would be great if when John C. Reilly hangs himself, the image somehow ends up on the silk screen and that goes viral.
Oh, that's like the crucifix for like his.
I don't know.
He's become like a religion almost.
Like
like
a
how
martyr?
people,
Like
well, how,
a
he's a martyr. You know how people wear crucifix.
Like the photo emulsion like happens on the silk screen.
People are gonna be wearing a hanging John C. Reilly around their necks.
Everybody's wearing John
and then
C.
it becomes like a Shepherd Fairy type of
And
thing,
then it's like,
right?
it's about
Like,
the,
like
death
an
of,
image.
the death of creativity, right? The death of
Oh,
creativity.
the death
wow.
of like tactile art, like
Yeah,
the death of
exactly.
everything.
Banksy
You know what?
is,
Art-
you know.
Is the art part? Are we focusing more on the art part, or are we focusing
Even
more
though
on
it's-
the
even though-
on the writing part and like how there's no truth in
Both.
It's kind of the
journalism
same
at all?
thing
Yeah.
because
Both.
like old journalism was sort of its own art, and that's completely gone, right?
Right.
So maybe
You know,
all right,
like
here-
the integrity of it. At
maybe
least
Michael
is gone.
Cera worked at this place with John C. Reilly first and ran away with an
Absolutely.
idea.
Yeah, he stole
And-
his idea.
And
Yeah.
he got famous for it. And now he's like a Mark Zuckerberg kind of guy.
Yes.
And he's like famous for this
Oh.
thing that like pitching crazy
yeah.
ideas.
Oh my god, it'd be so cute if John C. Reilly was a recluse that had no idea that his stuff was like out there.
Cute?
That before he kills himself,
It's adorable.
that Michael,
cute.
Michael
It'd be
Cera,
so cute.
The Michael Cera character is like getting like a good amount of fame, and
Yeah.
John C. Reilly's like, "Hey, do you sell any of my
Hey.
T-shirts today?"
Oh, yeah, that's
And he's
right.
Like, he's like,
like
"Yes,
security."
I know, nothing's
No, that's
getting
right.
sold."
No, sales are pretty bad, and he's like cashing crazy checks.
Let's
and
see
then
how-
that drives him to
and
kill
then the
himself.
gravy train is over.
And then
John
he
C.
gets like
Reilly-
sued,
he-
like Sarah's lawyers like fucking like sue him and like blacklist him, like
Oh,
fucking like defame.
blacklist John C. Reilly.
Yeah,
So
like
what's-
like they call him a rapist.
What's the
like they
second-
set
what's
up
the
a whole
second
Okay,
act?
like,
so
What's
here's
the
the
second
second act.
defamation. Like
So first
complete-
act, right? Again, he's making money off John C. Reilly's stuff. John C. Reilly's a recluse, not realizing
He's
this
dead
stuff's
now.
happening. John C. Reilly
Offs
like
himself,
so
right?
offs himself, but luckily, fortunately for Michael Cera, even though the gravy train is over, that image of him like
Hanging.
himself has gotten a full almost on the on the one last silk screen, and that becomes the biggest thing ever, and it does become like a religion. So instead of
Okay,
him
okay,
actually
okay.
his soul actually getting into some computers,
Yeah.
that image is resonating with people.
How does he get?
And it
wait,
keeps him alive, sort of?
How does he get into the computer? Is it just through the image itself?
Yeah, the article
I
writing,
don't
the
know if he needs to
clickbait.
get into the. I don't know if he.
Because we
knows-
still
like-
haven't addressed the clickbait.
I think
part
at this
We
point
might have to
at
ditch the
this point,
clickbait
he's-
and
turn this into a different movie.
No, clickbait still works. So
Okay.
he's like
Let's see,
bigger.
I wanna see how
he's
Jake
like-
gets this to happen.
He's like
Yeah, I gotta
bigger
see you
than
wrap
I'm
lights
I'm
around.
I'm
he's
kind
like
of
bigger
curious.
than just an energy now. He's like a fucking like
here's the thing.
he's like a religion
Michael,
now, right?
so here's the thing. Michael Cera has this last thing of the John C. Reilly killing himself, and it's a thing. By this point, so just as he's about to, he notices the silk screen, and he realizes it's in poor taste because oh my god, he just killed himself. And he puts down the body. He notices the silk screen, and right before he could take it down and hide it and destroy it, she shows up.
Kaya.
And she's like,
Okay.
"Oh, we want to see where it all happens." And he's like, "Oh, is this your latest thing?" And she takes a picture of it. It becomes clickbait. And
That
she
becomes
She
clickbait.
asks him about it, and because he doesn't know what to say, he tells the truth. But she doesn't know about John C. Reilly actually being dead. She thinks he's making up a story, and that he's just this brilliant narrative mind telling the story about this tragic figure. It resonates with everyone, and it becomes like a religion.
I think this
all
And
just
the religion becomes a
this
clickbait
just went
religion.
into the stratosphere
It did go in the stratosphere.
because we are definitely not on topic anymore.
no.
We've got somehow silk screening became part of the
in the
internet.
best way possible.
That's what I'm saying.
The
Are we
only
ditching clickbait because Jake's
No,
on another
clickbait's
level
no,
right
because
now?
the religion spreads through clickbait.
All right, wait.
Like, that's how
what's gonna sell right now for people? That's weird. I don't. The only
This is how
correlation.
you marketing, like you need a
The-
genius marketing this
The
fucking
only
thing.
correlation I have here between T-shirts and clickbait are that you can't stop T-shirts from being made, and you can't stop the clickbaiting. I don't know. I think
This is a click debate.
It's like a transference of like mediums. That's what it is, right?
Because
It's just
before,
like,
while it's on the silk screen, somebody takes a picture of it, and you can do whatever you want with that image and make it something digital. You turn it into something else. Like if I take a picture of this, I don't know, there's a surge protector in front of me. Somebody thinks it's cool. You know, they can
There's
do
a
whatever
surge
they want with the
protector
surge
in front of
protector.
Jake. right
and
now.
all people who have their T-shirt ideas ripped off of them can relate to this idea. Too.
yeah, because that happens all the time.
Everyone
Because
has
we
their
all know the struggle with that.
No, but any ideas
Struggle's
taken
real.
from you, or like everyone, because everyone thinks they have original ideas, and then you grow up and you find out, wow, people thought of that thousands of years before.
Right.
Yeah, and when you have a great idea, you're like, I'm gonna put this on the internet, and then you put it on the internet, and you get like 1 or 2 likes, and people
And then
get
someone else has it, and
yeah,
then
no,
boom.
people get so severely like fucking pissed off when like
well,
nobody
yeah,
likes
because
it.
you put
And-
time into something creatively, and then someone steals it from you.
Not
Like-
just stealing it when it doesn't get the like the,
it's ignored.
when it
Oh,
doesn't
it's
get
ignored.
like the
It's
the
irrelevance.
attention that you want, you get all pissy and shit, you know.
Yeah.
Well,
And
I
then you-
still think that.
And then you realize
no
you're not an
offense to
artist.
Jason,
you know?
that T-shirt thing really strays far away from any.
I
medium.
can understand that.
You
All right, I'll
cannot
buy
have
that.
T-shirts be the conduit to clickbaiting. It doesn't make sense.
It's more the image of the T-shirt.
We can make
Okay.
a different movie.
Then let's
that's
get rid-
that's
let's-
a different movie.
Maybe we should get rid of the T-shirt thing and just have the image of him hanging.
That's what I'm saying. No, that's what
Okay.
and yeah, no I wasn't thinking about T-shirts
Okay.
at all.
We'll
I was
put a
thinking,
pin
like,
on it.
before he could even make some.
Put a
Where,
pin in
where
it.
the hell did this silk screening company shirt thing? Like, where did that come
That's
from?
where
Jake came
John
up
C.
with it,
Reilly
right?
was.
John C. Reilly should just be an old reporter who's lost his way and
Okay.
he can't stand it anymore, and he offs himself and possesses a computer because
After-
a guy like Michael Cera fucks him up.
Right,
And he's
because
a
after
younger
that whole
guy,
thing
he's a
where he's like,
millennial.
"Hey, did you get my idea?" And
You know,
he's
because
like,
we could
"No."
talk about right now the baby boom generation, the millennial generation, and talk about the inconsistency of how they grew up and how millennials are growing
So the
up.
gap there.
There's a huge fucking gap there.
So
Yeah,
like
okay.
John C. Reilly, like John Oliver. I don't know if you guys watched Last Week Tonight with John Oliver.
Love that
Yeah.
show.
He did this thing about how scientific studies are completely misrepresented by the media entirely. It's like wine could be good for you, and it's like actually every study says wine is bad for you, except in this one circumstance, which no one ever really gets in.
Yeah, so it's
right?
total
Yeah.
manipulation of these articles.
So John
and
C.
shit.
Reilly's writing unsexy articles, and then Michael Cera is manipulating his articles.
Well,
to
also
sound
John
sexy.
C. Reilly is old
Okay,
school
and then there's the
journalist where
clickbait.
he needs fact checking.
Yeah.
No one fact checks anymore.
No.
So John C. Reilly's like, hey, you gotta fact check that.
Yeah, shut up, dickhead. Yeah,
Michael Cera's like,
fuck you and your facts, man.
yeah. Michael Cera's like,
People don't want facts,
no,
man.
I
They
have
just
a
want
deadline. I
Really
have a deadline.
flashy
Again.
headlines that make them click, because clickbaiting. You go to a website that's a hub for advertising. That's what that is. That's what a clickbait is. It's getting you somewhere to see something else.
Okay.
That's the only place John C. Reilly could get a job
And
is
the reason why
working
it's
for
called
one of these.
clickbait is because it's switching and baiting people into things like these people didn't really die.
I'm like, oh my God,
You
did
see
they
a fucking
die?
photo of Chuck Norris like before, and it's like, well, he didn't die. I know he didn't die. So
But you
why
don't
am I
care,
clicking this?
because-
But why do you give a shit anyway?
Because I want to see who the other
Why
10
do you-
people
why
are.
do you care about this amazing
Because
thing?
you suddenly have time to do that, and you don't have time to do other things, but you have time to find out.
So then,
You don't look at your
so
phone.
what Michael Cera does, he writes an article called 10 journalists you didn't know were dead. And then John C. Reilly's
yes,
online,
yes.
and he says, hey, that's a picture of me.
how
He
about
clicks it, and he dies.
No. Wait. What if John C. Reilly what if that makes him snap and he goes into some sort of like, now it's a game. John C. Reilly goes nuts, and he's a fucking genius, and now he's tormenting
John C. Reilly doesn't die.
Michael
It's
Cera.
it's verses. It's like
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's
okay,
new
okay.
school versus old school journalism.
Okay,
Michael
this-
Cera
okay,
throughout the
this
whole
is
film
good.
thinks he's winning,
Yo,
but in
what's the-
reality, everything's
What's
going
that
wrong.
Ben Affleck movie where he's
Reindeer Game.
Changing lanes? It's like changing lanes.
Oh, I know.
With
Reindeer Game is
Affleck
usually
versus
the answer.
No,
that's
no. You know what I'm talking? Have you seen it? You know what I'm talking
Sam
about?
Jackson?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a great movie.
I think
It's actually
so.
It
very
takes
good.
place in one day, but it's
It's because they cut each other off.
Yeah,
It's- it's
and
John-
Sam
no,
Jackson's
but-
like fucking like turns a lunatic
This is just
and
a
tries
road
to.
rage. It's
They
a
both
road rage.
become
It's a
Yeah,
road
yeah,
rage,
yeah.
but no,
They
but
both
it's
go
John C. Reilly. It's like a what's freaking standing shit.
Walking Tall.
Oh, Michael Douglas.
Michael
Douglas.
Yeah.
The
Falling
Game?
Down. Falling Down.
Okay,
No,
falling down.
Standing up.
So John's
the sequel.
standing tall. Okay, no. So John C. Reilly's at his like falling down moment because this millennial kid who he works with is like writing really shitty like no facts at all. He's writing all these clickbaity things.
They work
right,
for the
right,
same
right.
kind of.
They work for the same
So we're
companies.
starting over here. This is good.
They're starting, and it's like a it's like a changing
Michael
lane.
Cera is an intern.
So
He
Ben
hates
Affleck.
him.
So Michael Cera is Ben Affleck, and John C. Reilly is
No wait, in
Sam
Changing
Jackson.
Lanes, do they ever get to the? Was there anything deeper going?
They're just
on
competing.
between the
They're
two?
competing with each other.
You really do find out their issues and their anger problems. They do get into it.
Well,
Their
but
deeper
between
issues.
each other, did they have
Yeah.
any backstory?
Yeah, they do. It's.
Oh, no, they
just
have
meet
no
each other when
backstory.
they
No,
get
it's like
into-
it's
yeah.
it's
better
like a
that way,
chance
'cause it's
thing.
They're
like-
both having bad
know,
days,
it's
but a
like-
road raging incident causes them to compete.
and then it goes deep into their
What's
psyche.
that? It's like Duel, the Steven Spielberg movie.
It's like
Duel.
that movie.
Pretty much.
John C.
Okay.
Riley is the truck driver, and you remember at the end of Duel, the truck
No,
drives
John
off
C.
the-
Reilly is
truck?
Dennis Weaver.
Well, right. Do you remember at the end of Duel, the truck
Dennis
falls
Weaver?
off the cliff?
Yeah, that's right. It's a good
And the
one.
most important part of that scene is that truck doesn't explode and it's a gas truck, which means that guy was just following him, and that's what it was. He wasn't going anywhere.
That's
There
the end
was
of.
nothing-
That's not the end of Duel.
Yes, it is. The truck falls off the cliff. It doesn't blow up. It's a gas truck, and there's no fuel in it, so obviously it doesn't explode. And that's indicating to the viewer at that point, where was that? Why was that guy in a gas truck in the first place? Where was he going? Why was he even out there?
Just a regular guy
it was just
driving.
it was just a guy who kind of snapped.
Okay, so
It's kind of like John C. Riley's got to go Cape Fear.
Yes. Okay. So
right?
John C. Reilly is
yeah,
the truck
they're
driver.
basically he's Max Cady. Okay, so suddenly Cera's coming up with all these bullshit
Yeah.
things to make you click on it, right? And then John C. Riley's like, okay, if you're gonna do that, I'm gonna make these things real.
Yes.
Oh
Like
shit!
Night-
And he
Nightcrawler?
becomes
Like
yeah.
Nightcrawler?
Night-
Okay.
no,
Yeah,
So
exactly.
so he becomes he's like, you want to fuck with me? Okay, I'm gonna make sure these things really
Like
happen.
Night Clicker. Like it's.
So he becomes like
But it's a
obsessed.
comedy Nightcrawler, right? It's like
And
a dark comedy Nightcrawler.
No, I don't think this could be a comedy.
I think it's
John
gotta
C.
have weird
Reilly should
moments.
be.
It's gotta be
like
pretty
a
dark.
Not as
serious
dark as
role.
Nightcrawler, which was awesome.
No, Nightcrawler was great.
But like some of the things are ridiculous.
Night
Like
Clicker.
and then he catches on, Cera catches on. He's like, okay, try to make this one happen, and he fucking makes them more ridiculous as they go. Like the clickbaits happen more ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like first it starts like, oh, you know you can get cancer by doing this, and Riley's like, oh yeah, and then he's like,
Fucking
you're right.
John
And then
C.
he,
Reilly
like,
invents a
and then
cancer gun and
injects
starts
somebody
zapping
with
people.
cancer.
You can't inject people with cancer.
No, it's like a cancer gun,
No,
man.
it
The
becomes
government
like
has
it
those
becomes
things.
like 7 at that point where he's just he's like fucking like
it's
making it
awesome.
happen.
Yeah.
This is like, can we? Okay, so it's since the movie's changed. Sorry, Max Landis. You want to keep Max Landis,
I
or do you
keep
want
Max
to?
Landis.
You want to keep Max Landis? Okay, okay. I was gonna say let's
it's not
get
like
Fincher.
Supernatural anymore.
Let's get some
but-
Fincher to do this.
Ooh, that's dark.
I think
No,
Spike
we'll get
Jones would be
we'll
great.
make
Spike
we'll get
Jones?
another supernatural film. Don't worry.
All right, Max Landis could do anything.
But you know
so-
what? We need some cool, techie, like modern day action dark film about a man who's lost his way with media and he can't cope with it.
Yo,
And-
he's gone full like Travis Bickle, John C.
Yeah.
Reilly.
Yeah. Oh God, that's
Yeah.
perfect.
He's full Travis Bickle right now.
So now it's a revenge thing.
and
and
John
you go back to
Michael
clickbait
Cera.
as the title.
But
yeah,
it's not-
clickbait.
But the
it's
thing
always
is-
clickbait.
and
the-
Caius Scodelario is the Sybil Shepherd.
Okay, but
Well,
what
I think
happens?
Michael Cera should have a girlfriend that John C. Reilly kidnaps.
Okay, so
What?
Let me,
Yeah.
let me,
Go
let me,
ahead, go
let me
ahead.
throw
Yeah.
this out. The more like when Cera like makes this bullshit article and it happens because Riley makes it happen, now he becomes like a totally in demand, like a prophet. You know,
Cera
because
does.
Cera,
Cera
yeah,
does.
yeah.
Oh, 'cause it's coming true.
Because it's coming true, and people
now
are like
he's
that's
getting worship-
impossible.
that's
This
where
is-
the
This is
worship
part of
comes
John
in,
C.
you know?
Riley's plan because later on down
backfired.
the road,
it backfired. Yeah, now he's freaking out and he's like kind of stuck.
I think so. Sarah
As
should get John C.
revenge is,
Riley
like,
fired,
backfiring.
and John C. Riley shouldn't return until like maybe the third act when you find out it was him all along.
Ooh, no.
Just remember,
I'd
you
want
know,
to see John C.
just
Riley
start
doing
off.
this.
Yeah.
We have to.
'Cause that
really-
might be funny.
We have to
John C.
establish
Reilly.
some character details. Remember, we have to care about. We don't have to like him. We have to care about him.
Well, you
right?
see John C. Riley in the
Yeah.
first part of the act, then he gets canned because he's not
You don't want
putting
him
out
to
content.
disappear.
Maybe no, not
Dude,
necessarily.
listen,
I might
that's
agree.
how that shit's measured
That's
now.
how- and that's how it gets
many
done.
how many click rates your article gets determines how long.
So
you
do you
have a
guys
job
know
there.
who John Montone is? Do you guys ever listen to 1010 Wins?
Yes.
If I
every
want to
mo-
go to sleep.
Yeah, every morning, my fiance and I wake up to 1010 Wins. We wake up. We listen
I
to
grew
that.
up on that shit. My parents.
That's a great
it's
noise
the
to
same
wake up
guy.
to.
There's one guy named John Montone, and he talks like he's just learned English, and he tries to enunciate
like-
everything
it's like the-
he says, but he only does wacky human interest stories that no one really cares about.
Like the guy in 60 Minutes,
Like-
like
like-
Andy Rooney or
Andy
whatever.
Rooney.
He got a powerful punch that went pow to the kisser. He tries to use alliteration all the time. Yeah, he's like Andy Rooney wannabe.
Yeah, okay.
So I
He's
guess
a
like,
throwback.
He's celebrating.
He's a throwback.
He's a throwback to that era. So we have a guy who like the only reason he's kept his job is because he has some column that's super interesting that people read because it's like what human interest stories were back then. Like like Peter Piper partied today. He pickled his last pepper. Right? Peppers won't be pickled the same way ever again.
That's
So
John
is this a
C.
new
Reilly.
character?
John C. Reilly's this guy who's been writing for like 30 years, this one column. People love it. It's folksy, but the audience is literally dying out.
No, like literally.
Literally dying out because they're getting old.
They're too
right?
old
So
for this,
he's
yeah.
losing readership, and
And they're
along
going to the
comes
internet.
Michael Cera, this fresh guy, and they're like, "We're doing new media now. You can learn a lot from the John C. Reilly. We keep him down." Like, and Michael Cera's like, "What's with this guy? He's so folksy." Yeah, but we love him. And then Michael Cera starts really kind of beating him to the punch. He keeps taking what he's writing because he's like, screw this guy. This guy's got the best office because he's been there for like years.
Yeah, he's an institution.
Let me
he's
freaking
comfortable.
poach his stories and make them so much more interesting. Instead of doing my like stuff, I'm gonna do his stuff, but I'm gonna make it so
Better.
much sexier. I'm going to manipulate
sensational.
The
his stuff.
headlines. The headlines
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
like
I'm
what
turning his
we're-
stuff
That's
into
what
headlines.
clickbait is.
And he's
Yeah.
like, I was gonna write about that.
Right,
Who's
yeah.
interested in that but me?
You're ruining my story.
Right, and he makes them, and so he
Yeah.
lies about them. He makes them sound sexier than they are. Eventually, like, sorry, buddy, you haven't written anything in like 2 months. They get rid of him, right? And then like
Aw.
Michael Cera is doing stuff. But it'd be really cool if John C. Reilly does kind of
Sorry.
make interesting news.
Sorry. So the way John C. Reilly gets fired is that Michael Cera writes an article, like lovable columnist. So and John C. Reilly.
Lovable goof. Yeah,
Like,
he's
get John C.
retiring,
Reilly.
retiring. He's like, I'm not retiring. He's like,
that's how he finds out.
yeah, that's how he finds
And then
out.
the next shot is him outside the building with
Yeah.
the box of stuff.
Like the boss is, yeah,
Oh
the boss
God,
is
it's like that scene in Scrooge with Bobcat Goldthwait.
Yeah.
the boss is like,
Yeah, he
oh,
flips
sorry to
out.
hear that you're leaving. He's like, I'm not retiring.
But it'd be really
Why
cute.
is John C. Reilly fucking Bobcat Goldthwait in your voice?
So it feels like I don't know. We have to decide who's our protagonist. Is it John C. Reilly? 'Cause I feel like it is now.
Oh,
He should
yeah,
be the
yeah.
villain.
So-
it's kind of like back and forth.
So here's the thing.
Like was it Ben Affleck or Sam Jackson?
Maybe, but like I feel like we have to give some John. So I propose we give John C. Reilly this. In addition to this struggle, he's also beginning to lose. He's become incontinent. He's starting to wet the bed. He needs the pens.
Oh.
Right? He's aging. These things are
Just
happening.
like the old style news.
But the idea is, he's aging. It's
Metaphors.
becoming incontinent, and it's a metaphor for how other people are just they're not holding anything in. They're just letting everything out. And then,
okay.
Oh,
and
very
so
clever.
there's gonna be kind of like a reverse thing where
So news is
as-
poop.
News is
Well, that's
poop
what
and pee.
clickbait is, man.
right?
It's all shit.
And so
all
he,
shit.
he is losing as he is the more he tries to stay true to his journalistic integrity, the more he loses control of his bladder.
Can we
Whoa.
can
And
we
then
do
as he learns to like become more sensational and to become more interesting while being true to who he is at the same time, the more control he gets
That he
over
was-
his bladder.
Can we do a juxtaposition
awesome.
scene,
Yeah.
maybe
Okay.
a split screen, where Michael Cera with a big smirk on his face is taking like a nice shit?
That'd be great. Yeah.
yeah. He's like
He's
he
grabbing-
wakes up on time and he's
Yeah,
like,
he's
"All
on his phone and he's on his
8:02 in the
phone.
morning. He's like on the wall, like.
But he's on his phone or his laptop while he's taking his shit. He's like, oh, that's
And
my
John C.
article.
Reilly
That's
has to
my
throw.
article. That's my
John
article.
C. Reilly has to throw all his sheets in the
Yeah,
wash.
yeah. And he
Every
straps,
day.
That
on,
would be
he
great.
straps on a
Like,
fucking adult diaper, and he's
If you,
like,
did, if you did like a split screen of
Yeah.
the scene, it'd be like John C. Reilly.
And there's got to be like
getting his
there's got to be like a
bag.
70s song that's like some kind of like Simon and Garfunkel song is playing in the background of that scene.
Yeah, and oh man, and Michael Cera finds out about it, and that's how he gets fired. And he snaps at him, like he says something to like
he shit his pants today.
he goes, sir, you're gonna finally stop writing those sensational articles. And he says something like that depends on you, and then he freaking like what? And then he goes after him. That's how he gets fired.
Okay,
'cause this
so-
whole movie's about
And he
ageism
shits his pants
stuff. It
during the
absolutely
struggle,
is.
yeah.
All right. So we got
and
the
then he's like,
second
get
act.
out, you're fired. you
Okay,
know?
so our meeting is literally
Like
in like
15
20
minutes.
minutes.
Oh, shit.
So we
I
got
got
we got to
15.
wrap this
We
up.
gotta wrap
On
this
my
Okay,
watch,
10
I don't
minutes.
have.
So we got to meet with Lord Dr. Hollywood Trump.
Oh no.
With a meet, we got to
Third.
pitch to Dr. Trump. What is the third and final act? What is the climax of this film?
Here's. I'm gonna
They
go
have
for
to
dark
have
route.
a tete-a-tete.
I'm gonna go for a dark route.
Okay. What's Max Landis going to have
They
to deal
kill
with?
each other.
Oh, shit.
Ooh, okay.
And,
Well, in changing
then-
lanes-
and here's what happens.
Well, do we do the thing
someone
where-
writes a clickbait about that, and then it doesn't matter because none
Nobody
of this fucking
cares.
matters.
Okay,
no one
we've
cares.
moved on
it
to a
gets no
different
likes.
thing.
It gets no likes because it never mattered at
and
all.
we've moved on to a new sensational way of delivering information.
Yeah, which is like straight to your fucking head through draconian reptilian ways.
This is where Dr. Trump likes the idea.
no, it's like VR things take over, and then
Oh
like
yeah,
you know,
VR, like
you're
no
just
one reads articles on Facebook anymore.
yeah.
Everyone's reading them over here in the blob.
It's not article. It's like a whole kind of like blank existence now.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
that
what the whole
people are
movie's
just,
about
like-
in the end, is that these people really, like, the people that you're following, and, like, you don't really give a shit. Like, I've talked to you about this.
Yeah.
I've made statuses on Facebook before just to see how many likes I would get, and they're just bullshit statuses.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, yeah.
hey, I'm making this thing right now. What's going on? Does anyone want to be a part of it? And it's just like, it gets 100 likes. But why the fuck are you liking that? You're not going to be in it. You don't want to do it.
You're not participating.
because it's
You're not
entertainment. It's just
participating.
entertainment now.
And you're just-
that's all it is.
What the hell did I say to make that post have 100 likes? All right. By the way, there's only one post I have on Facebook that has 100 likes, and I don't give a shit about it.
What is it?
So
Oh, I think I was like, oh, it's a picture of me with like spiky hair when I was a punk kid.
Oh.
It's got the most likes I've ever had on a photo. Thanks, everyone.
That's a TBT though.
Yeah, but it doesn't really matter because it doesn't.
That's an FBF.
It just doesn't.
well, let's get back to
Yeah.
like this
We'll make
middle
sure we
act.
call
Is it
Flagship
gonna-
Okay.
Friday
Right now, we
soon.
only have two characters. Obviously, there's going to be a boss and that love interest. So I think Michael Cera should be trying to impress.
Okay,
Right?
but are we,
she's like the lowest lane, right?
are we still doing the thing where he's actually making these things come true?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
I
great.
do.
Yeah.
That's great.
Okay.
But I think it'd be
Keep
really
that.
great if there's one
Good set
sweet
pieces.
thing that he's doing that no one's thinking about that he gets attention for at the end. Like if he's like pooping and peeing himself, he's making like a forest
Michael
based
Cera
on that.
has
He's,
to shit
he's
and
putting
piss himself at the
like
end of the
seeds in his
movie.
poop and he's growing them in the.
Well,
in the bucket.
what if Sarah if Sarah's like he's getting all this stuff because of these completely like trash like topics? What if he decides to do like nice things and Reilly does the nice things and everybody just doesn't fucking care anymore? Like
Well, I
people
think
stop.
the end outcome.
Because Michael Cera knows what John C. Reilly is doing.
Yeah,
he's
he
writing
finds
things.
out, and he's like, okay, if you're gonna make these fucking things come true, then hero saves child from
Falling.
out of a building, and then he
fucking
makes
just
it,
see John
and then he
C.
becomes
Reilly
he
running.
becomes
Trying
a
to save-
hero, and then nobody fucking clicks on it because nobody cares.
Nobody
you know?
cares about good
They
news.
only want to care about like who
No,
died or
but that's not
fucking
true.
who.
You ever see like the things that get the
Nobody
most likes
cares
are
about
big-
heroes. Come on.
That's not true, man. I'm on Facebook. I was on.
Will's about to reveal what he actually clicks on.
Yeah, what do you
All right,
click on?
hold on a second.
click on, like-
what baits you, Will?
Look,
What
I
baits
think
you?
we agree.
Something-
We click on veteran comes home to dog.
That's it.
That's a guarantee.
See, that is a guarantee. Or kids, like I love kids. I can't can't wait to be a dad one day.
Son
and-
cries when veteran returns home.
Not even that. I just watched a video the other day.
I watch those all the time.
Of a
Oh, God.
girl
Oh,
asking
God.
her stepfather to adopt her.
Oh.
And that
Oh,
was
come
really-
on.
And I was
Or-
like, wow, that's really touching. Like that.
Don't make us cry,
I love
Will.
that stuff.
Or
I-
blind 29-year-old woman sees her husband for the first time after
Yeah.
corneal implants.
Yeah.
And then
or-
you
Oh,
like, yeah, what
baby
happens
baby
next?
hears for the
Baby,
first
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Oh my
Forget
God.
it.
See, but those are all those titles
those are
there to
irresistible.
pull you in.
Yeah.
Like they are squeezing out your emotion.
But they deliver. That's the thing.
Sometimes they do.
I don't think I've ever
sometimes.
clicked on a
So-
bait like a positive bait one
So
that
can-
wasn't I didn't cry at.
Oh yeah. Oh wait. No, forget it. Forget it. Yeah, I was gonna
See,
say.
now we're lost in like what
No, this
have I
is-
clicked
What are we
on?
doing
So
with
again,
our
again,
lives?
it's about two
That's
people.
how the movie ends. We're just Michael Cera and John C. Reilly are clicking on good news. And
It
they're
becomes like network
watching-
at that point.
No, 'cause
right?
I mean, all this
See,
is-
if we
There
can
you
add a little
go.
network in
That'd be
there,
cool.
Yeah.
It becomes like that.
We need
you
a
know?
big.
We got to turn Michael
Where it's just
Cera
trash.
into a Howard Beale, and then ruin him in the end.
Sarah or John C. Reilly?
No, we got to turn Michael Cera into a Howard Beale.
Yeah.
Because now he's like this prophet. Things are going on. That's what Howard Beale was.
Yeah.
They were setting up Howard Beale
Right,
Network
right,
to be
right.
like this thing, and that's why they got to take him out in the end and make him a martyr. But in the end, you find
Okay.
out it doesn't matter. Nothing fucking matters.
Nothing
The
changes.
news doesn't. Nothing changes because there's
Because
only
it's just
Exxon.
entertainment.
There's only major corporations.
Yeah.
Those are the countries of
Right.
the world.
So there you go.
Right,
Nothing's
right.
local anymore. So again, John C. Reilly's writing these human interest stories about things that are local and regional.
Yes.
Meanwhile,
Yes.
Michael
Right.
Cera is writing these stories about like
Kim
you know,
Kardashian's
Kim
butt
Karda-
says
right.
hello to
Broader.
John
But
face.
no, but he could also be doing the. He
Kim
could also be doing
Kardashian
the
comes
thing
home
where
from
it's-
war to see dog.
No, but to be fair, Michael Cera could also be doing the thing where it's like 29-year-old sees her husband for the first time, and he's doing
Yeah,
that, and they're so
yeah.
much bigger and sexier, even thougd they're both sweet.
Right.
So it'd be really hilariously ironic
Yeah.
if they're both shedding light on really, really sweet things.
Yeah.
But they fucking hate each other.
Yeah. So they're gonna outsweet each other. Like,
they're like and then like the ugliness, but like they can't. Eventually, they can't hide the ugliness, and eventually,
because it's self-centered. It's completely self-serving.
I think this has to be a
so
movie
they
that
both-
takes.
And so they
a
both
really
start
harsh
manufacturing
left turn.
separately. They
Until-
both start manufacturing sweet stories.
All right, well, no, see, that's just good. That shit's good.
Yeah, and then they compete, but not because of like they want to spread the positivity, because it's completely selfish.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna be the fucking sweeter guy here, and he's
Well,
like, I'm gonna.
Can you give me the cordial lip latch for free?
No, but see, but at that point,
Threatening doctors and puppies.
yeah, exactly. So in the end, they're at gunpoint. They have somebody at gunpoint.
Come home to your children.
Yeah, it's like, you're gonna implant these fucking ear implants and here, make this kid here. And they got the doctor at the gunpoint. Yeah. And then it becomes, the swarm of
It's
police
just-
outside.
Oh my god! Where it's like they get the veteran.
I have an ending for this.
So
Based
it's a
off of Sean's
hostage.
idea.
It's a whole hostage
They
thing.
get
It's a hostage
arrested and they end up in jail and they
Jake,
have access
Jake
to
is
the
like
internet.
Jake is running around the room right now.
Will's
Jake is-
ending and then Jake's ending.
All right,
Let's go.
all right. Here's my ending.
Okay.
Based off of what Sean said, like I love this now, this new dynamic where they're just competing with each other.
awesome.
And it gets crazier and crazier and crazier until they end up in the same place, taking the same person hostage because they need a better
it's
story.
the same-
And they end up in jail together. But they're allowed to keep writing blogs, but no one's reading them except each other. So the end. Hold on. It gets better, and the final thing is they like each other's posts.
So the last shots is they're sitting there and they're waiting for the like to ping and they're just like cling cling. And then you cut the like.
I think that's a perfect ending. I don't want to change anything else.
Yeah,
Just getting
perfect.
to it, the hostage situation. Here's the idea, right?
Well, we could do that, Will, if we set up this kind of like this thing earlier on in the movie,
Yes.
like this goal that they both have. Yeah, go.
So they find out about some like veteran or something crazy about coming home in the airport to the sun.
Yeah,
They both
earlier
hire the
on.
same cameraman to go film it. And that person, for some reason, gets waylaid. And, like, you don't know if it's going to betray, but the person doesn't show up. So they hold a woman at knife point to film it with her phone.
So
Film it! Like a selfie, like.
no, it's a fucking Snapchat. It's like you get this on Snapchat. Do it.
So it's
Share!
yeah.
So it's click share! Click share!
So it's like a vet coming home. Yeah. Oh my God.
That's amazing. That'd be great.
Oh.
And they're totally ruining this moment while trying to capture it. They completely ruin it.
They're
It'd be
fucking up
amazing.
like this historic, beautiful moment just because
They're selfishness.
they have to just do it for themselves. And they
Yeah,
have to-
but here's the thing. This sounds like it's a really dark. It's like a comedy, but it needs to
Yeah,
just
it's like
the
a Heathers
darker
or
part.
something,
Death to
yeah.
Smoochie kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Death
Right.
to Smoochie's a great.
So Danny
movie.
DeVito
Danny
could
DeVito
direct this.
directed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Danny DeVito is replacing Max
He's great
Landis.
with the
Sorry,
satire.
man.
Max
Please.
Landis can write it.
Yes, Maxwell.
Well,
Written by
Danny DeVito
Max.
should star in it. He should be the John C. Reilly character.
Oh no,
He'd be
John
great.
I've been picturing
I think-
John C.
all right,
Reilly all the
casting's
time.
locked.
But I
Come on.
love DeVito.
All right, guys, we got a meeting
DeVito
in
is the
5
boss.
minutes. Doc Holliday.
All right,
Okay,
guys.
so
waiting for
Sean, paint the picture. Finish it off. What's
my
the
goodness.
final
Okay.
clickbait?
So it's called clickbait or click fate.
No, clickbait.
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 Clickbait, yeah.
Directed.
And it's directed by
Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito, written by Max Landis, starring John C. Reilly,
okay.
Michael Cera,
Michael Cera.
and which
Kaya Scodelario, yeah.
and maybe some other people.
What
Probably
happens
some
to
other
this?
people.
What happens to this Kylo girl?
We don't know, man. Maybe Dr. Trump will figure it out.
We can't go to him with an incomplete thing, man.
Jake, you're coming with us?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay, cool.
All
Jake,
right, guys, well, we
on,
gotta
on
get
the,
Jake
on the
on.
elevator ride up to the 38,000th floor.
So it's a dark satirical comedy about,
About-
the war in
The war in
Journalism.
media, the war in journalism,
Journalism.
social media,
Old and
and-
new media, right?
Right. and-
ageism,
Old media versus new media.
and what it means to an individual person, and
Yep,
what it
and
means
how
to
it
a
really
mass
means nothing in the
consciousness.
end because no one
And
really gives a shit.
it's always self-serving no matter what.
No
There's a
matter
message,
what.
Doesn't
There's
matter.
a message there. There's
So
a-
if you're a girl that focuses on Instagram and takes photos of yourself, or a guy, you're a narcissist. If you're a guy who's posting on
It's
Facebook all the
basically
time,
that.
it's just fucking straight up narcissism, and there's
Yeah.
no reason to like anyone's post unless
That's-
you're really happy for your friend. But even then, it's futile. None of this means anything. In fact, what matters
that's
more
what-
is that there's 4 dudes in a room right now coming up with a movie, and that's real.
Yeah.
a good movie.
Well, yeah.
I like
So,
this movie.
I like
this
this
is one
movie
of my.
too. So like,
It's awesome.
I'd watch the
but
shit.
you know,
out
like
of this.
it goes back to something Jonathan Franzen, great writer, what he said. You know that there's not. We're not lacking privacy. We have too much privacy in the world. We have privacy invading the few public spheres we have left. Everyone is taking their privacy and putting it into the world, and people are taking advantage of that, and it doesn't freaking matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
None
good
of it
luck with all
matters.
those, all those, what are those apps that like map out your face and shit, which you clearly know is just a facial recognition. They're
Oh,
building a database right
here we
now.
go.
I tell my students all the
lizard
time, by the way,
people.
that map out your face. Like, forget the privacy concerns, which I completely agree with you. But I said, you realize Snapchat is making it so there's only 20 ways you can express yourself. Like the thing I like
It's gonna
about
do wonders.
like everybody is putting that garland of flowers on their head. Everyone is doing that dog face. Like, you are limiting your own creativity with apps that, by definition, should allow you to be more creative.
Absolutely.
it's all cookie
Yes.
cutters and stuff. You're just
Snapchat used to be cool. There's like
Absolutely.
A lot of,
It was
a lot
for
of people
dick
do
pics.
crazy-
It was
It
for
used to
dick
be
pics.
for affairs and
Well,
Is
stuff.
that what it's for?
this-
Dick
It
pics?
This
originally
movie-
was created for dick
dick
pics.
pics.
this movie's a great kind of comment on all that stuff about
Right on.
privacy, about
I would see
ego,
this movie.
all that stuff. And
So-
I hope Mr. Trump of Trump Studios
Maybe
loves
the
this.
people that wrote
I wanna thank our
maybe
first-
the people that wrote Winter Soldier should write this.
Russo brothers, they're incredible. Oh no,
They-
not the
they're-
Russo brothers. They directed it, but
Max
those writers
Landis
were
is
great.
good, yeah.
But
Max
the Russo
Landis is
brothers
great.
can do it.
So I want to thank our very first guest ever, my best friend Jacob
Oh,
Stebel.
thank
Thanks,
you. I
Jake.
love you guys.
Thank you for
This is so much
joining
fun.
us.
Yeah.
So we want to tell people they could reach us at on Twitter at Pitch It Movie Pod on Twitter.
Right.
We're also on Facebook, and you could Gmail us at pitchitmoviepodcast@gmail.com. And
If somebody wants to
also-
make a poster of
Yes.
this movie,
Clickbait.
because we need posters made.
Artwork.
We don't want to do them ourselves, nor do we have the
We don't
skills.
know
We don't have the
Photoshop.
talent.
I just picture
So
John C. Reilly and like Michael Cera both reaching for like a YouTube like window that's on like a
With, like, a play button.
it's on like a hook.
No, it's a,
And,
no,
like-
it's a thumbs up. It's a thumbs up.
Yeah, it's a thumbs up.
It's attached to a hook.
Yeah. Oh my god.
so take that poster idea, make it. We'll put it all over the internets and stuff, and feature it all
And,
over. And
yes.
we'd appreciate it. Be
And
awesome.
so
Credit
please,
you.
please subscribe.
Yeah.
To our show
Do we have
on
subscribers
iTunes.
We're on iTunes now.
Yeah, we have subscribers on iTunes and SoundCloud. And we're also on
subscribe.
Stitcher. So, send us your log lines and your ideas and comments. Please comment on all those platforms.
Yeah, and if you have an idea for pitch it, because we're running out of ideas real fast and we hate our ideas. So if you have one that you would like us to turn into a pitch,
We'll do it.
tell us.
Or some
Possibly.
theme, you know?
Yeah, anything.
Into it.
So you can reach me on Twitter. I'm at Sickboy Wolfgang.
Sean Q King, Twitter.
I don't use my Twitter because someone keeps hacking it and following people that I would never follow from
Which is me.
the Middle East.
Stalkers.
And so you could find me on there, but I'm also not on Facebook anymore.
Yay,
so,
good for you.
For now.
You know what? I think that's a great way to
Because of
end
this.
this.
It's because of this pitch.
No, it's
disconnected,
it goes
you've
deeper
unplugged.
than that. But you can't find me at all. So
Bye.
bye.
You could listen. You could
You
listen
can find
to
me
you.
here.
And
You
Jake-
can find me in spirit.
Tell us where we can find out more information about Cinema School. And
Oh,
Ghetto
check
Film
us
School.
out at thecinemaschool.org and at ghettofilm.org.
And your stuff.
Yeah.
Your Twitters.
On my
You?
Twitter, at
you want.
Matza Mafia. That's MATZAMAFIA.
He's had that handle
Oh my
for
God.
like.
Since I was like
Awesome.
16.
Yeah.
You're not going to get rid of that one.
Yeah, no.
Don't get rid
it's
of
a
that
classic.
one. All right. Thanks so much
Thank
for listening
you.
to the Pitch It Movie Podcast.
We love you. Bye.
Au revoir.